Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to RocN Recovery this week. We've got a really good show coming up.
We do.
Yes. We are going to be interviewing two Kellys.
Kelly and Kelly.
Yeah. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching RocN Recovery this week. I am here with my friend Kelly. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're on the show.
I'm glad to be here.
You know what? I love connecting with other women in recovery. Can you tell our audience a little bit about your journey?
Sure. So I'm 28 years old right now. I was introduced to recovery and the possibilities of recovery when I was very young and recovered pretty young, and have really found a lot of opportunities and possibilities within my recovery. I have 4 children, and that's one of my favorite opportunities and possibilities that I found in recovery, and have really kind of developed a lifestyle that is all about happiness and serenity and recovery and open doors and possibilities.
So do you mean to tell me that you don't feel punished on a daily basis because you can't pick up a drug?
Not anymore. And early on, especially when I was in my late teens and very early 20s, it definitely sometimes would feel like that. That would be the struggle, and thinking, I got to stop doing this forever for the rest of my life. And it really wasn't until it took me a couple years to really kind of false starts and back and forth to kind of understand that what works best for me is just focusing on what's the next right or the next healthy thing for me to do, and just move forward like that. And what I have found is every time I ask myself that question, using a substance is never the answer. So it's worked.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you just started an organization, and it's called Finding Jude?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I'm very excited about it. So Finding Jude Incorporated is a training academy and recovery coach service provider. So what we do is we offer trainings here in New York State. It's called a CRPA, Certified Recovery Peer Advocate. You're familiar with that. Mm-hmm. And it's the training that's required for that certification, as well as offering trainings to accommodate like continuing education hour needs, to maintain certifications, and then even looking into incorporating some training and continuing education trainings from some other licensures, maybe on a more clinical side, like the CASAC, Certified Alcohol and Substance Abuse Counselor, and grow from there.
So why in the world are you doing this, right? Why?
Well, we'll start with the broader, less logical maybe answer, I would say, is I'm compelled to. I genuinely feel like with my journey, the things that I've learned, the things that I've experienced, also the unique skill sets that I have, it almost feels like everything has culminated to come to this point to create this thing. Mm-hmm. So that's the big, impassioned answer. The logical answer is there's a need. CRPAs and recovery coaches it's a growing field. We need our trainers and our capacity to be able to train and ready individuals to enter into this field needs to grow with the demand. So trying to meet that demand.
Mm-hmm. So as a person in recovery and doing the training, how is it a benefit to the people who attend?
So I definitely think that one of the beautiful things that we have in the recovery community, and the fact that it's the community, is there's just that thing that you can't really put your finger on, but when talking to somebody else in recovery, they know what that thing is also. It's that nuance that's there, and being able to teach this curriculum and facilitate these discussions from a way of that mutual understanding of that thing, that nuance, that intangible, I think is important and very helpful. There's also the added benefit of being able to ask that question, who did I need at that point? Mm-hmm. When I was entering treatment, when I was in early recovery, when I was being introduced to all these new things, what did I need?
Hi everybody, thanks for staying with us on Roc'N Recovery. So I'm still here with my friend Kelly, and we've been talking about finding Jude.
Yep.
And the program that you're offering, the training to get your, say it again, CRPA, what does that stand for?
CRPA, Certified Recovery Peer Advocate.
That's a mouthful.
It is.
Okay, but right now, with all the restrictions that we're facing with COVID-19, is it possible to be trained?
It is. So as of right now and until September 30th, the New York Certification Board has approved virtual trainings. So somebody can attend a virtual training and it would still be recognized for all of the training hours that are required for certification. So Finding Jude is offering virtual trainings right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool. A lot of us have downtime, and I know I love learning stuff. So what a great opportunity to better ourselves, right?
Yeah, of course.
So if somebody wanted to take the training, what do they need to do?
Okay, that's a good question. So you can visit our website, and we actually have a registration page right on there. It has a link that you click on, and you fill out a profile, and it gets sent right to us via CCAR, which is who created the training. Mm-hmm. Send it right to us, and then we do our little magic behind the scenes, and you're all set and registered. Or you can also go to the Friends of Recovery New York website, and our trainings are also posted on there with their registration page, and you just fill out your information there also.
Oh, that's cool. So I have a question. If somebody's interested in getting this certification, okay, do they have to be in recovery themselves?
No. So they do not have to identify as a person in recovery. We also recognize, and the New York Certification Board and the field in general recognizes the value of the lived experience of family members and allies. So anybody can really take the training. It's really just about having a passion to support people in their recovery journey for whatever reason you may be so compelled. Also, everybody's really kind of in recovery from something. It might not necessarily be substances, but that determination, that hope, that perseverance, that resilience can translate into so many things, and that's really what we're looking to capture as recovery coaches.
Oh, that's cool. So they can go to your website, and there's a registration there. Is there a fee for this, or?
So there is a registration fee for training, and so to take the Recovery Coach Academy, which is the 30-hour, goes through all of like the core competencies of the recovery coach, all of those different skills, terminology that you need to learn to get certified. There's that, and then there's a separate training which is ethical considerations, which teaches you all of the ethical components to being a recovery coach. Both of those together would be $800.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, stay with us, everybody. We're going to be right back. Hi everybody, we're still here at Roc'N Recovery, and I'm talking to Kelly, and you were telling me that there's also a service that you offer that it could be like an individualized service, a one-on-one.
Yep.
What does that look like?
So we are also a private recovery coach, coaching practice.
Private recovery coach practice, okay.
Yes. So what that is people can come in and meet with us and sit down and get their own private recovery coach. Similar process to the way somebody might go out and seek like a private therapist, only we're recovery coaches, we're not therapists. And it's really self-directed. So they come in, we'll sit down, we'll kind of have a conversation about what their goals are, try to develop a plan with how it is we might be able to help or support that individual, and then go from there based on what their needs are. So it's just an added level of support that's non-clinical. It's more informal. It's a lot more reciprocal, and you're getting that help from people who are recovery coaches, who are in recovery. So there's that person-to-person aspect versus that clinical where somebody's sitting behind a desk looking at you through their glasses type of situation.
Yeah. So what if somebody's in recovery and they've been in recovery for a while, but they hit like a plateau in the way that their feelings are, or they hit a brick wall as far as like finding employment, or what if there's some outside issue that they feel is affecting their recovery?
Yeah, one of the things that we actually say in our mission statement is that we strive to help people obtain and maintain recovery. So if at any point in time you have a goal that you're working towards and you feel like you could benefit from or need that extra support, we're ready and able to offer you support, whether it's, I have all of this time in recovery and I have that down, I'm doing really well, but there's this job that I really want. And I'm having some self-esteem issues around it, and I don't really know how to start going about getting the training that I need, or how do I sit in an interview and explain these gaps in employment history that I have because I was, on the street or using at the time. And we sit there and we'll support you through that whole process and be able to come from a place of, well, this is what I did when I went through that same situation. So it allows people to feel like they're not alone. So it's any goals.
I love that. And it's so empowering, right? And to be able to encourage somebody to be able to reach their dreams, whatever they are, right? Because once we stop using, get into recovery, it doesn't end there. It's not like, okay, it was an event and it's done. It's something that we continually work on to better ourselves, and little by little we get to know ourselves, right? It's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So if somebody wanted to, do that, have like this one-on-one session with somebody, would there be like a year-long contract that they have to sign to come every week, or how does that work?
So there's no contract, there's no minimums or any expectations. It's really based on the needs of the participant as the participant sees them. So if somebody's coming to us seeking these services and they feel like, I just need, for example, somebody to talk to once a month to just kind of like process things that I feel like will understand where I'm coming from, and that's really it, great. If you're somebody that needs to have or wants to have somebody on hand when there's a crisis, or to call whenever something might come up, great. If you want to meet more frequently, we can accommodate that. It's really based on what the participant feels is going to be of the most benefit to them. So we don't set that structure.
Okay.
They set that structure.
Awesome. So somebody can try it and just see if it's working for them or if it's not working for them, right? So what if somebody is struggling, just staying in recovery, and maybe they've got that shame and that guilt that they're carrying with them, and they're just not quite sure how to get over that hump? Is there a place for them in the program as well? Of
course. So, like I said, we really focus on any goals that somebody might have, and if they're struggling with maybe some self-image or self-esteem, working on, we're trained and capable of working on that and supporting them through that process and connecting them to a community group that focuses on self-esteem, or social or recreational events where you can go and you can see people like you having fun and laughing, and it's okay that they're having fun and they're laughing and that they're happy, and all sorts of really creative solutions, really creative problem solving that goes on. So yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's show of RocN Recovery. My name is Carlee Hulsizer, and today I have Miss Kelly. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. It's a little warm today. I won't lie.
A little sweltering.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared for that drastic of a change.
I don't think anybody was.
No, we just kind of went right over spring.
Straight to
hot.
Hot.
Just straight
Very hot. So, we've known each other for a long time.
Mm-hmm. What, since 2014?
14. Yeah.
I can't count, but that's a while.
It's 6 years. Don't mind us.
Yeah. Math was never our thing.
No, it really wasn't. And so you have some, not only do I know you as, being another young woman in recovery and sharing in a lot of adventures early on in both of our recoveries, but you are doing some pretty amazing things.
We're trying, yeah.
You're doing great. And one of them is Recover Collaborative. Do you want to tell a little bit about what that is and how that got started?
So, Recover Collaborative, we are a 501c3 nonprofit, so that is just kind of like the standardized nonprofit grouping. It's some government stuff that I'm not really sure about. I'm basically here because I am a person in recovery who's just trying to do a little bit of good. Kelly Quinn, who was, here with your mom earlier, that's my business partner. It's actually funny because Quinn and I have known each other since 5th grade. We actually went to elementary school together. Our lives ended up obviously taking pretty parallel, similar paths in terms of, where addiction can take you, but then also where recovery can take you. We both ended up as professionals in the recovery services field and like the chemical dependency field. And Recover Collaborative was born out of a conversation in a parking lot during a smoke break where we were kind of just talking about what we would love to see happen for this community that we care about so much. A couple things that weren't really happening, a couple needs that were just historically and chronically not being met. And she just said, hey, do you want to start a nonprofit? And I said, hell yeah, let's do it. I don't really know how to do it, you know what I mean? I don't know anything about like tax brackets or how to apply for government anything, but I know recovery and I know how to help people and I know how to listen, which is really the most important thing that we can do for the people that we're trying to, provide a service to and just give support to.
Yeah.
So Recover Collaborative is our, we really want to do networking. Resource brokering is a term that's used in the field a lot, but it's basically just providing connectivity.
Yeah.
Whether it's to a specific treatment or treatment center, whether it's to a support group or a certain methodology program, MAT, harm reduction, it's just providing a link to really whatever anybody is looking to learn more about. Obviously, given the COVID-19 situation, doing something like outreach isn't necessarily much of an option right now, but that's really where my heart is. Most of my experience in the professional realm of recovery has been field outreach, street outreach, really meeting people literally where they at on the porch steps of the abandoned houses and providing Narcan and doing sharps pickups in the street, volunteering my time at the Needle Exchange, the Syringe Exchange Center down on Central Avenue, working closely with Trillium to do harm reduction services. I sat on a sort of voluntary board to petition for a safe injection site in Rochester, New York, when when Monroe County's numbers were specifically for IV drug users, the fatal and non-fatal overdose numbers were like, I believe that was in the tail end of 17 into 18, which is kind of when I was getting my start professionally.
Right.
So that's really where my heart is. I'm not really like an office kind of girl. You know me really well.
Yeah.
I like to be out with my hands dirty. I would always much rather be, with sneakers on, feet on the ground, really chasing someone down the street. That's where my passion is. Luckily, I've been blessed with a partner who is much more comfortable working and moving in those bureaucratic clinical circles because that's not me,
Yeah, well, you have the perfect combination, I think, between the two of you of, how to get things done,
And so that's kind of what we've been told. And people who know us from, be it the rooms or recovery or whatever groups, her and I have gone through, and people that know us professionally know that it's like good cop, bad cop in a way. Not that I'm the bad cop, but I am definitely
the bad cop. Shoe fits.
I'm the cop that's like swearing and smoking cigarettes, and she's the cop that is like, let me help you get a deal. I don't know how cops do stuff.
However cops do things.
Yeah.
Well, I've known you a long time, and I know that all of this is just right up your alley. I mean, this girl is just... woman, I should say, is just... you don't stop when you want to get something done, and when
I'm like a pit bull.
You really are. I love pit bulls, and we're not trying to say anything bad about pit bulls.
No, pit bulls are very, targeted.
They are.
They've got a good sniffer.
What are we talking about? I don't know. Let's go to a break, and we will be right back. Welcome back to RocN Recovery. I am still here with Kelly, and just a PSA about pit bulls.
Oh yeah, so I have a pit bull. I didn't mean anything negative about them. I know that my dog, when she gets super into something, like she's into it, she gets really into her one specific toy, and that's all that she can think about.
That's how my dog is too. She's also part pit. We love pit bulls.
It's the only dog I'll ever have.
Adopt, don't shop. Can we say that? So getting back to Recover Collaborative, I know that, we were talking a little bit about advocacy earlier and how you've built sort of an online presence during COVID-19 and have been doing outreach that way. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
It sounds a little bit strange to say, but in some ways, having a digital platform be our only option for connectivity has kind of been, I guess, a bit of a blessing, because there's no better way to clearly encapsulate an idea than with a written word. You can't really misinterpret something when it's like physically written out or typed out in front of you, and you can read it over and over again for retention and all of that stuff.
Right.
So, would I personally prefer to be, on the street or out in the world? Of course. But, having only a social media platform to give our ideas out and to kind of gain traction has been really successful. I don't know a ton about insights. I've been kind of trying to educate myself a bit around like social media insights and platform reach and stuff like that. And unless I'm completely misinterpreting them, it looks like some of our insights are really good. We're reaching a lot of people. We're reaching a lot of people from 18 to 33, which is like a hugely important demographic.
Right.
We're reaching people not just from Monroe County and Rochester. We're reaching people on the Eastern Seaboard. We took a training with some people in Washington State from the Lummi Nation who, we get some impressions from them, and they've, talked about us. So we've got some scattered likes across the country. Obviously, most of our core focus is here. But our reach has been fairly good, and I've learned in recovery that it's okay to give myself credit for things. So I know that part of it is because the way that I've been able to represent myself, and Quinn as well, as recovering professionals, in the recovery field, with integrity and with dignity and standing by what we say and being ethical, being outspoken. You know, a lot of people know that when I say something, I'm going to stand by it, and I'm going to say it loudly.
There's that pit bull in there.
It's me. So people come into this experience, you know, when they visit our page, and they know that if it's me and Quinn, we're not just talking.
Right.
You know, there's going to be action behind it as soon as we're able to act.
Right.
But, you know, doing polls on Facebook or doing Zoom meetings that, you know, the one that you did with us with Youth Voices Matter, that was awesome. Doing focus groups on Skype or on Zoom, you know, it's been really cool. And I also know that for me, and this is obviously a very common theme during this time, I know for me, the reprieve from isolation to, like, even see and hear someone's face, like when you can see, physically see someone's mouth moving while they're talking, it does something to that spot in your brain that craves contact. So it's been a really, really cool experience to be in, you know, a virtual town hall meeting, or to be part of a Zoom meeting with 150 people, or to be involved, even if it's just like a 2-minute clip of me talking about my day and how I sustained my recovery that day, and tell me how you've sustained yours. You know, it's Self-Care Sunday today, so we're going to do some kind of poll about how are you showing love and care for yourself today. Just things like that to get people involved. And it's not, it hasn't felt like a work yet.
Yeah.
Which I think that when you find something that is really, it meets that cornerstone between passion and purpose, it doesn't end up feeling like work. Maybe it will eventually. I'm hoping that it takes a long while.
Yeah, I get that. And I feel the same way about Youth Voices Matter. Really giving back and utilizing, you know, my experience to make changes and to make it make the recovery world just a little bit more, I don't want to use the word palatable, but like more like easier to not only navigate but feel comfortable being in recovery.
Right.
And just accepting the world as it is. And like there's just, I mean, we talked about multiple pathways earlier, and just embracing that and embracing people and just loving one another.